You know, have you ever had a teacher whose lessons just stick with you for your entire life? Well, today we're diving into this really powerful story about how one teacher's wisdom shared decades ago came back in the most unexpected and emotional way. And it all started with a single letter.
So just imagine this for a second. You're a successful public figure, right? The chairperson of the Infosys Foundation. Life is moving fast. Then, out of the blue, a letter shows up. And it's from a teacher you haven't seen or even spoken to in 20 years. A name from what feels like another lifetime.
Okay, so before we even find out who this teacher is, this is how the story ends. With the author, Sudha Murthy, just so overwhelmed with emotion she can't even finish reading the page. So the big question is, what on earth did this letter say to cause a reaction like that? Let's get into it.
This whole story, it really hinges on this one incredibly impactful letter. But to really get why it mattered so much, we have to rewind. We have to go back in time to a classroom that literally changed everything.
So, who was this teacher? The one who left such a deep impression? To understand why a letter from her 2 decades on could hit so hard, well, we need to meet Gowramma.
Her name was Gowramma. Now, the school she taught at was described as pretty harsh, very rigid, but her classroom, it was like a sanctuary. She was this brilliant Sanskrit teacher, yeah? But she was so much more than that. She was a master storyteller. The author says students didn't just walk to her class, they would literally run to escape into the incredible world she would spin with her words.
And this one story just perfectly shows her power. Gowramma would describe the Hindu deity Lord Krishna in such amazing detail. You know, his dark skin, that mischievous smile, that he basically became real in her students' minds. So real that years later, when the author saw an actor playing Krishna on TV, it just felt wrong. The actor couldn't even come close to the vibrant, living image her teacher had already painted in her imagination. I mean, that's the lasting power of a great storyteller.
All right, let's jump forward 2 decades. That student is now a leader, and one of those lessons from the classroom is about to become this major piece of her adult wisdom.
So the scene is a university lecture. The author is up on stage, talking to students. She's confident, she's successful, a real public figure. But it's right here, in this moment of professional triumph, that she has this incredibly vulnerable experience.
A student gets up and asks this really tough, direct question. How do you solve the difficult problems you face in life? And for a second, the author just feels dazed, hesitant. I mean, how do you even begin to answer something that big? And then, suddenly, a memory from Gowramma's classroom just flashes into her mind.
She remembers a story Gowramma told about the deity Hanuman,